The only thing I regret in life is trying to remove traces of my younger self. I went through a phase where on Snapchat, I was deleting all videos of me, deleting all memories of how I used to be, who I used to be. And the reason I did this was because I thought I was cringe. I thought I was corny. And I couldn't bear to witness the things that I used to do and how I used to act. And then I began to build an unhealthy hatred towards my younger self. And although this might sound weird, I often imagine myself being able to meet my younger self and beating him senseless for all the mistakes he made. And I began to become really angry. And I had this deep anger within me that no one knew about. And I was angry at myself for all the times I was easily manipulated, for all the times I had my hopes too high, for heartbreak, for mistakes I made. And although what I'm saying is quite common, you see online there's millions of memes about what people would do to their younger selves. I had to realize and learn that my younger self did his job. We often ignore the fact that we have wisdom now that we didn't used to have. The way I view our younger selves is literally like a child. We have innocence, we have inexperience, and all we are trying to do is live life and have fun. We had zero responsibilities and we were doing everything a kid, a teenager was supposed to do. And even if you were somebody that used to be cringe, who's to say 5 years from now, you wouldn't be saying the exact same thing about your current self? Let's be honest, my friend, you have been way too harsh on your younger self when they were just playing their part. They were just playing their role. And what I mean by this is that in order for growth, there needs to be struggle. And most of our younger selves struggled, or most of our younger selves did things that we wouldn't really be doing right now. And all of that comes down to character development. All of that comes down to growing as a person. And something very underrated, something we do not tell ourselves enough, is that without a younger self, we wouldn't be here. That person was the person that started everything. That person was the person that started to change, that tried to change, and the reason we are who we are today. And if we somehow were able to go back in time and changed all the little things that we wanted to change, we would be completely different now. All the mistakes that we made were all lessons, and we have grown so much because of how we used to be. And the biggest first step to actually being comfortable and actually accepting who you used to be is forgiveness. You need to be able to forgive your younger self for all their crimes, for all their wrongdoings, and for how green, for how naive they used to be. All right, there's not a textbook, there's not a guide, nor an instruction manual on how to live and how to act. And you definitely don't get one of those when you were younger. You have to make mistakes and you have to learn from them. It's the same as now. We have just grown and gained XP. I once was surfing the web and I saw something that said, forgive everybody for all the things that they've done to you. And I sat there and I really thought to myself, can I forgive everyone that has wronged me? I don't have any grudges anymore. I don't hold anything against anybody. I don't hate anybody and I don't dislike anyone. All right, I'm just in my own lane. However, when I tried to do this, I wasn't able to. I realized that although I've grown so much, and although I can forgive, I can't forget. But the one person that deserves my forgiveness, the one person that I forgave that day, was my younger self. In a strange way, my former self inspires me. He didn't care how he was perceived. He weren't afraid to try new things, even if he looked silly after. And even though it took him a while, he understood that he could put his pain into something productive and gain positivity from it. You need to start giving yourself credit. You need to step away and really look at how far you have come. You need to understand that you are the byproduct of your past. You need to understand that without your past self, there would be no law. There would be no drive. There would be no motivation. Without that person, you would be nothing. Even if you don't see it, I'll be the first one to tell you that you are on a beautiful journey. And appreciating that journey is so important. We always look at the end goal. we always fantasize about the end result, but often we neglect where we came from, where it all started. If you didn't make that promise to yourself that one night, would you still be here? If you didn't get your heart broken, would you still be here? If you hadn't have made those mistakes in relationships, with people, your friends, would you still be here? If you didn't want to be better, if you didn't strive to be better, if you didn't start, would you still be here? The answer is no. Maturing is realizing that our younger self has done the most for us more than anyone else in our lives. How can I stay mad, be mad at the person that has taught me everything I know? And if your younger self saw who you were today, saw how you turned out, they would be incredibly proud. They would be so proud of you and not understand how they were able to become so great. They wouldn't be able to understand how resilient they have become. How even though they have fallen down so many times, they just keep getting up, even when they shouldn't. I believe our younger selves would be starstruck. I believe our younger selves would look up to us as if we were their older sibling. So please trust me. I understand what it's like to hate who you used to be, to look at pictures, videos, and cringe, to honestly wonder how people let you be who you were. And don't get me started on those old Instagram messages. My goodness. But if you haven't already, if it's not too late, please do not try and erase who you were. Please don't delete videos of yourself. Please don't delete pictures of yourself. Please don't be ashamed of who you were. Please accept it. And if you can, if you find the strength, if I've gotten through to you throughout this whole video, please forgive yourself. It is a part of life to truly be on a journey to find out who you really are. That will take time, and it did take time. But all in all, it was worth it. Stop being so hard on your damn self. You didn't know any better. And if you look back to who you were and the things you were doing back then, there was no problem with it. You were having fun. You were smiling. And that's the only thing that matters. Just because your mindset has changed, just because you have changed, doesn't mean that you should be judging who you used to be. Because who you used to be is completely different to who you are now. So I don't know who needed to hear this, but you really need to forgive your younger self, because without them, you wouldn't be here now. I'll see you tomorrow. Magaran.